Good morning. I'm still in Ciudad del Este in Paraguay, and today I've come to the Itaipu Binacional, which is the third biggest hydroelectrical dam in the world. Now, to get here, I went online last night to just work out how to get here, and basically they said it's walking down to the local bus station, getting a local bus that takes 45 minutes to get here, and then the bus drops you off about a K down that way. But I spoke to the owner of the hostel this morning and went, the bus, that takes too long. She went, don't be stupid, take a motorbike taxi, so much easier. So I did, and this is how much it costs. It's cheap. And it's only taken, I left at 15 minutes to get here, and it just drops you off at the reception. So I've just got dropped off over there. I just spoke to the guy there and said, right, where do I go? So basically, oh, there's people there. I'm just going to follow them. So there is tours of the dam that you can do on both sides of Paraguay and Brazil. However, the Brazilian side, you have to pay. This is free. And all I've been told is it is an amazing, spectacular view of something that is just enormous. So yeah, I am looking forward to this. This is all brand new, and because it's so cheap to get here, then definitely get the motorbike taxi back. Right, where am I going? Where's the tour? Right, before you get on any bus, you've got to be accredited by reception, which is through here. There's a lot happening around here, so I've just watched the film. Hi, English?
No.
No, it's okay.
Solo español, portugués, guaraní. Perfecto. Más inglés no.
I'll just watch.
Sí,
So the bus isn't going yet, so I thought I'd come out and just explain exactly what's happened, because it's all a bit crazy. So once you go through reception, you show your passport, and then you get given a little badge to see what bus you're in. And they gave me a little Independence for Paraguay badge, which was really nice of them. They don't get many English visitors, but basically you get taken into a theatre where you watch a film of the history of the dam. Here's some clips.
Esto es Itaipu Binacional. Esto llenaría una fila de camiones volquetes de 128.000 kilómetros de longitud, lo que equivale a 3 veces la circunferencia de nuestro planeta. La cantidad de hormigón utilizada es 15 veces mayor que en el Eurotúnel. Cada unidad generadora tiene 27 metros de altura y pesa 6.600 toneladas. La cantidad de energía producida actualmente por una sola unidad generadora de Itaipu es suficiente para cubrir la demanda de una ciudad como París, con más de 2.200.000 habitantes las 24 horas durante casi 5 meses.
It is in English subtitles, and as you've already discovered, the guides didn't speak in English, but I'm here to watch. So yeah, it's just been crazy, just bang, 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 bang. And this is the only time I've gone, well, I can do a bit of filming. So let's go to the dam.
Por el lado brasileño, el general Emilio Garrastazume. Las obras dan inicio en el año 1975 y para el año 1991 ya se instalaron las 18 unidades generadoras, elevando así una potencia instalada de 14.000 megawatts.
And we've just got off the bus, and this is it. Now the bus journey down here takes about 5-10 minutes. Oh wow. That looks amazing. So the tour guide does speak a lot, telling you all the facts and figures, but all in Spanish. Wow. It's amazing. So from the film I learned that this was started construction in 1975. It gives Paraguay most of its electricity throughout the whole country, with about 9% of Brazil's electricity coming from here. I think this is where they release all the water, comes down here. Wait, let's try and get a better view. So this is a river. Wow. So because the dam produces far more power than that Paraguay actually needs, Paraguay actually sells huge amounts of surplus energy or electricity to Brazil, and that's become a major part of the Paraguayan economy, just from this thing here. Obviously there is a darker side to this because of the fact when this was built to create the reservoir, entire communities disappeared underwater. And one of the biggest waterfalls in the world at the time were the Guala Falls, which were completely submerged forever. I don't know if you can see it, but right on the top of the dam there is a bus, just to give you an impression of how big this dam is. Wow. So around the place you've got various little signs to give you a bit of history behind it, but that one there, in 1980, 32,000 workers would be working on this, and that's on the Paraguayan and the Brazilian side. Now I'm not an engineer, I have no idea how it works. You'd have to probably Google it yourself, but I know the water that's released turns a turbine thing that generates power. Yeah, Google it. I sound like I know what I'm talking about, but I don't. Just been told I get back on the bus, but there is a bit of an area map of what it would look like with the water flowing through, and that's everybody getting back on the bus there, and I'm the last one on. So you're only here for about 5 minutes, but it's free. Right, I'm just back to the reception area. There's a little gift shop there, souvenirs to say that you've been to the dam. If this video feels a bit quick, it's just because it has been bang, 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 bang. I'm going to have a sit down and work out exactly what I should have said at the start to find out more about this place. That's when I should start actually do some research. So the whole tour, including the film, started at 10:30, and it's now 11:45, so it's taken an hour and 15 minutes to do the whole lot. The reason it was rushed is because when I was at the hostel this morning, at 10 o'clock. I did mention to the owner that I was going to come down here, and she said the last bus of the morning went at 11 o'clock, and the next one's not till 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And if you want to go and see the film, you better go now, which is when I went, and then I just came here and rushed, as you saw earlier. So after going and looking at the viewpoint of the dam itself, we got on the bus and we had a whole tour of going around. So this is the tour itself. I didn't talk because I was too busy looking out the window at everything. You can hear the tour girl talking. You can hear the bunch of kids ignoring everything and talking about themselves. But here it is.
El río Amazonas nace en el territorio brasileño con la unión del río Grande y río Paraná River. En este mismo punto tiene un ancho de 400 metros y una profundidad de 60 metros. Los remolinos que podemos observar también son expulsados por motobombas a 40 metros debajo del espejo del río. Las filtraciones que podemos observar en la estructura son controladas por motobombas. Luego de refrigerar la casa de 38 toneladas de dinamita. Por aquí, por este canal eran desviados del río, el cauce natural, por aproximadamente 5 años para que se pueda construir toda esa estructura de la represa. Porque con toda esa agua pues no se podía hacer, porque a 80 metros abajo es que se produce la energía, entonces se tenía que desviar aquí, entonces para que se pueda hacer lo que es la represa. El área de embalse o lago artificial de la Itaipu.
Is this a sea or is this the reservoir that we're talking about? Big lake now.
And that was the bus journey. And what really impresses me most is the scale of how big this place is. I mean, to get on the bus to the dam itself, it is about a 5-minute drive, I think I said, and you're just taking around the whole lot. Really, really, really worth it, especially as it's free. And I think I need to work out how to get back now. But I can imagine, like, in the peak of summer, this place would be absolutely mental with people trying to get their tours. And I did say at the start that this is the 3rd biggest hydroelectric dam in the world, with the top 2 being in China, the biggest one being the Three Gorges Dam. But there have been times when this place has either rivaled or exceeded the amount of electricity in a year. So it is classed as one of the biggest, sometimes the 3rd. I've enjoyed it. I wish I had just sort of prepared myself a bit better, being a bit more proactive and not rushed to get down here. That's the entrance I came in through, so if that's where the Bolt motorbike driver dropped me off, I'm sure he can come back and get me again. Now there is a restaurant in there, but I've just had a quick look and it's not open. At least I thought the restaurant was closed. I've decided to have a wander in. So I've got a coffee and empanadas, and that is meat flavoured. How much is that? 25,000. Yeah. I needed that coffee, the first of the day, and a little snack. That's my lunch sorted. But while I was in there, I was looking at the environmental impact of today online. And obviously building something on this scale does come with huge consequences. Entire areas were flooded. Wildlife habitats disappeared, and even the waterfall I mentioned earlier on that has been here for like centuries and millenniums vanished underwater forever. But today Itaipu actually runs huge environmental and conservation projects around the reservoir and surrounding areas. Right, this is the way out, isn't it? Yeah. And apparently there are hundreds of species of birds, mammals, reptiles and fish living around the protected areas connected to the dam. And because so much of the surrounding Atlantic forest disappeared over the years due to farming and development, some of these protected areas have become really important wildlife corridors. So it's really a quite interesting contrast. I mean, there's people still going in. Where do I stand? So yeah, so on one hand you've got like this project which has transformed the natural landscape here forever, and on the other hand the company behind this just plays a huge role in protecting what's left of the environment around it. And when you think about the sheer scale of this place, it's hard not to think about that balance between human progression, nature and energy all mingled in as one. Right, let's try and find a taxi. So the motorbike bolt is about 5 minutes drive away. It's a 6 kilometer ride back to the hostel. And to be honest, if I was a professional YouTuber, then I would actually come back either this afternoon or tomorrow and redo this again properly. But unfortunately, I'm off tomorrow. I'm leaving Ciudad del Este and I'm heading somewhere else. Now, I'm not too sure if I'm going to go somewhere else in Paraguay or just cross the border into Brazil. But there's only one way to find out, and that is watch the next video. But if you've enjoyed this one, it's been a bit manic, very manic. But all you gotta do is press that like button. But until the next time, I'm off to the hostel, work out what I'm doing. Bye bye for now.